What's good, racing world? This is Matt Dobbs, aka Mr. Matt Racing, here to bring you a new edition of Time Trial Tuesday. Now, this past weekend we were at Dover Motor Speedway, and we got us a new $1 million All-Star Race champion. And a new format for that race, too. We're going to get to that in just a moment. I want to talk a little bit about the Craftsman Truck Series first, as well as the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, because I saw some vintage Dover from both of those events. So let's just get right into it. Now, starting off, we have the Craftsman Truck Series race, and I gotta tell you, what we saw from that race was an old school vintage Kyle Busch butt whooping. The driver of the 7 for Spire Motorsports gets his second win of the season in dominating fashion. And he had the perfect weekend in the process. Was fastest in practice, won the pole with a new track record, won the first stage, won the second stage, and he won the race. By quite a bit, actually. Does this give Kyle Busch more confidence for the rest of the season? I don't see why it doesn't. I mean, we saw right there, he absolutely dominated that race, like I said. And it just looked a lot like the Kyle Busch of old that we were so used to seeing from his Joe Gibbs Racing days. So needless to say, once it gets to the Cup level, in terms of that kind of speed from Busch, you want to talk about old school? Watch out, because once he figures it out, he may very well be a contender once again. Now, for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, we saw a great finish at the end of that one. Justin Allgaier had the lead in the final segment, but at the end of the day, it was Corey Day who got his second career win after chasing down Allgaier and passing him through lap traffic with 5 laps to go. It was such a great finish. And it was vintage Dover, to say the least. The track widened out as it took rubber, multiple grooves were being used, and it just made for great racing. Like, yeah, track position was still premium, absolutely, that's true. But it was still vintage Dover regardless. But with that being said, the question is, has Corey Day solidified himself as a championship contender? I'm going to say not yet. Like, yeah, he's got 2 wins in the last, month or so now? That's great. But I'm looking for a little more consistency from Day as far as running during the first couple of stages. Because his car wasn't very good in the short run. He would fall back, and then it would take a while for him to pick back up there. But once he finds some consistency, then I can say that he is a championship contender. But all in all, momentum is in the camp of the Hendrick driver. Now let's go to the NASCAR Cup Series. This one is where we're going to get into it a little bit. We had the All-Star race. It was not a points race like the truck race or the O'Reilly race. It was the annual All-Star race for $1 million. Denny Hamlin got the win. I made that pick, by the way, on my Fast Friday. I said Joe Gibbs Racing was going to win it, and they finished 1-2 with Chase Briscoe in second. In this race, they used a different format. Earlier this year, I made a short trying to go over how the format worked. And I made another short earlier in the week going over it again. And all I can say is, earlier this year I said it was too much like the Clash because there was no All-Star Open this year. You combined the open cars with the cars that were already locked into the last segment. And what did we get from it? Chaos. We had quite a few wrecks in the first couple of segments that took out some locked-in cars. Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott were not able to make it to the main event because their cars were totaled. And Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson had damage to their cars. They were able to repair them, but they couldn't bring their backups out for that last segment. Which, I get that in a way, but at the same time, it's an exhibition race. Why not go all out? Bring out the backups. Let's see what they got. I mean, there's nothing to lose or gain except for $1 million. There's no points involved. So why not bring out all the stops, you know? But anyways, back to the race itself. Hamlin dominated Dover. 3rd straight win at the track overall, 2 points races, and the $1 million championship. And the question is, does this start a hot streak for Denny Hamlin moving forward? I don't see why not. I mean, Hamlin's already established himself as arguably one of the top 2 drivers in the Cup Series right now as it is. And fresh off of $1 million at one of his best racetracks, is only going to propel him even higher. Overall, the race itself wasn't too bad. I think Dover showed why it deserves to have a points race in the Cup Series every year. But for crying out loud, for this all-star race, can we not combine the open cars and the locked-in cars again? Bring back the all-star open. Bring back to having the top 2 finishers advance to the main field with the fan vote winner. Like, come on. We don't need to be adding gimmicks to something that's already lost its luster over the years. Bring back the open and bring it back to its grassroots in Charlotte. And I guarantee you, the race will feel a little more special again. But with all that being covered, what did you guys think about Dover? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like, share this video, subscribe for more content, totally free, greatly appreciate it, really helps me out. Don't forget to hit the little bell that notifies you when I upload. I will tag my social links below, and then stay tuned for Fast Friday this week. We got a special Memorial Day weekend edition coming up. I'll be covering the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. Until then, see you on the road.